Welcome to the Red Pill Cartel Podcast with Davey Wavy, the epicenter for truthers, conspiracy, pop culture, and more.
I'm back with my good friend Vicki, the Born Awake Oracle, way back. You were on, and it's been a long time. We've been chatting quite a bit on Instagram and texting and stuff, but yeah, welcome back. And just tell my audience once again a little bit about yourself and where they can find you.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me back. I appreciate it, Davey Wavy.
It's been a long time coming.
Yes, it's been quite a while.
A few reschedules and stuff.
Yeah, but you know, with everything going on, that happens, and it's okay because everything happens in the divine timing, you know. So,
Absolutely.
So my name is Vicki. I'm the Born Awake Oracle. Born Awake Oracle. I'm a psychic medium and shaman. I do a multitude of things like tarot reading, psychic mediumship, picture readings, casework, animal communication. You can find me on Instagram and you can find me on Clapper.
And I'll put your links in the show notes.
Okay.
So there you have it. So last time we talked, the last time you were on, I think we talked a lot like about my past and the house that I lived in and the paranormal shenanigans that went on there. I drove back there again to see if I could find them to talk to them again, but no dice. It was like probably like 2 or 3 times I drove past there again. It's so weird because that house seems so like dead.
There's evil there.
Deserted.
There's evil there. And let's bring up something. Remember you took a picture of the house and you sent it, you posted it, and you know me, I always zoom in on homes, even abandoned homes that people put on there. And I always find stuff and I circle it and I tell people what it is and I try to educate people so they know what to look for and everything. Even the lighting through a window. If the curtains are open and it's like black out the window, I mean, like if you look in the window and it's like coal black and the windows are open, like there's no curtains or anything like that, there's generally something there.
And you found something and you pointed it out.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm talking in general. If I look at a picture and it's like solid black and the curtains are open, there's no curtains and there's a window in the back and that's open, but I zoom in and I look in there and it's like blacked out. You know what I'm saying? That means something's there that's on the darker side. So if you look at a picture and it's dark like that, then that's a good hinkling that there's something in that house. You see what I'm saying? And stuff of not so good, energy. But yeah, you took that picture and posted it. And I looked at it and I zoomed in and there was a demon on the front porch, remember? And I sent it back to you.
Yep.
Its head, you saw the head of it and everything.
Yeah, and I saw, I think I pointed it out to you, a reflection in the top window, the top level window, and it looked like a cloud. It was a cloud, but it looked like me.
It was a man. It was a man. Yeah. Remember, I told you it's the man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Whoever was in there, because that's the voice that I heard in there 3 times.
See, and that's the thing. That's why I listen to my guides and stuff because they haven't ever steered me wrong, and that's how you got to be when you're doing this type of work, And people always talk about, well, you're talking to demons and stuff like that. No, you're not. No, I'm not, and I'll tell you why. Because not once has my guides ever told me anything that would have a person hurt themselves, hurt another person, hurt an animal, or cause them to be in fear. Everyone that I have worked with and everything has improved their lives. The ones that have taken the steps and continued it have improved their lives. And they're blown away. Just those little changes, demons don't do that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Demons don't do that. And that's why I've said this before.
Your average Christian would say, oh, if you're listening to spirits other than the Holy Spirit, then you're talking to demons, right?
Well, let me ask you this. When you pray, and there are Christians out there that pray and they believe in God. I believe in God. I a big believe in God.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know there's a heaven and there's a hell. And even though people say there isn't, there is, believe me. Um, but there's different levels of hell, just like there's different levels of heaven too. Okay. Um, Now, there's a lot of Christians out there that are intuitive, but they shut it down because they follow the religion. You see what I'm saying?
And the religion
And
takes the power out of them.
well, it can, but they still, it's like if a Christian person is driving down the road and they say, you hear a voice in your head, stop and pull over now. Or you get that deep feeling that you need to stop and pull over,
Yeah.
and you do. That is your higher self or your guardian angel or a relative trying to get you, to pull over so you don't have a blown out tire, or you don't get down the street and pull over and get gas and somebody stabs you from behind. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Do you understand?
A demon wouldn't do that. A demon would be like, oh,
No.
turn right
Mm-mm.
here. Boom, you get T-boned.
That's the thing with demons. They try to get you into contracts. Okay. They try to get you into contracts, and you got to understand something. Demons, okay, just like with Satan, all these contracts with Hollywood store in Hollywood. I call it Hollywood. Hollywood. You have a contract that they sign up. They sign and they do it in blood. There's the humiliation rituals and things like that and stuff that they got to do, but people just see what's in front of their face. They don't see the hidden writing that's invisible behind the devil and the demons have behind there. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yep.
It's invisible. It's invisible. So you see this written up and then you sign in blood, giving whatever your soul over or whatever and stuff, but you're not reading the hidden stuff. And there's a lot of hidden things that'll trick you and things like that you don't even know about, that the person that's doing it doesn't even know about. Now, a demon, they do contracts. They're like, well, if you go kill this cat over here, I will make you more powerful, to a child at age 2 or 3, or 10. That's where you get those kids that are like really like, you see them beating on cats and they're murderers and stuff at the age of 12 or 13. You see what I mean?
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, yeah. See, people don't understand that. They're like, that's why you don't. Because angels will not take and ask you to hurt anybody, anything, hurt yourself, anybody, any animals. You know, you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's why. That's why I disagree. That's why I disagree. Even though demons can take form of Jesus, they could take form of an angel. Angels, they could take form of humans, animals, children, monsters, anything like that. But you'll know. Just like I had this one man, he goes, I was sleeping and my grandma appeared and it seemed all warm and cozy. And as soon as we got closer, the eyes were like evil. And I knew, and I was like, I woke up and I was like, that's because it was a doppelganger demon. It was trying to bait you in to get closer so it could turn around and, mess with you and everything. And he's like, yeah, he goes,
it mimics
yeah.
things. Yeah.
Well, yeah, well, there's doppelgangers and there's mimics. Okay, there's two different kinds. I mean, you could call, I guess, in my book, there's two different ones. A doppelganger will look like somebody else, okay, and everything. And then the old saying is they're doppelganger demons, okay? Now it's mimics, whatever. Mimics will turn around and mimic your voice, mimic everything, look like them, whatever. So they're basically, to tell you the truth, the same damn thing.
Right. They're all
You know.
tricksters, right?
Yeah, they are. They are. Nothing comes good from a demon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're very draining and everything.
Did I send you the trailer for that movie coming called Him, Him?
I'm not watching that, and I'm not watching Sinners either. I don't watch I don't watch horror shows, and I'll tell you why.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you why. Horror shows, anything with demons, horror, anything like that, you are inviting that energy and that demon into your home. And a lot of these movies for the past, I'd say 8 years, they have been using real demons' names.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
I've
if
noticed that.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, so if you turn around, you turn that TV on, your TV's a portal, okay? So you're watching this show that has evil in it and everything, and they're using real demons' names, and you're like, what? What was the name of that demon? And you're like, read it, repeat it, rewind it,
You look
play
it
it.
up even.
Yeah, look it up. You're
Yeah.
inviting it into your home, just like it's like you opening your front door and saying, come on in.
Yeah.
And the thing is people don't believe that until it happens. It's just like people don't believe in demons and ghosts and shit like that until it really happens.
Yeah. I have a couple relatives who didn't believe this stuff at all until shit happened to them, and they told me they're like, Dave, like I was never a believer in stuff like that, but I am now. Because they
Yeah,
saw with their own eyes or they heard it, right?
yeah.
It's
Hmm.
and now they're like, I wholehearted believe now, and it's like that's what happened to me when I was in that house when I was 12, 11, 12 years old. I heard it 3 times and somebody else heard it with me, and then I've been a believer ever since, right? And I've been
Yep.
seeking ever since, seeking truth, right? And
Yeah.
like nobody can take that away from you once you experience it.
Nope. Nobody can take it away
No
from you. That's why,
skeptic, no skeptic can say, "Oh, that's all bullshit." When somebody says that, I just kind of go, "I'm not going to argue with you. You don't believe it
I
because you
just
haven't experienced it."
see, and the thing is when people do that to me, it's like it doesn't make me mad or anything like that. It doesn't upset me. It's because I've lived it all my life
Right?
since a little
You were
toddler.
born with
Okay.
it
Yeah.
before you
All
were
the way up.
before you were
Yeah.
born.
Yeah. And it doesn't bug me because I know my truth and I have my rights to speak my truth. And when I've spoken my truth, I have come across other people that have had similar. It's kind of like finding your own tribe or just them helping out. They get a peace of mind just from the
Sure.
information I'm telling them, and things. I just and the one thing that is lucky about me is I have my guides, and they'll turn around and say, your turn's coming.
Right.
That's why I'll look at them and say, well, go ahead and keep saying that, and then when it happens, you're going to turn around and wish that you kept your mouth shut and you actually befriended a person like me so you could get information on how to help yourself instead of sitting there talking smack.
Mocking. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't work with people like that like, I'll give you an example. Like, you sent me that picture. I told you we talked a long time ago before, and I told you there was a demon in that house, right? And everything like that. And then you wanted to
Did
talk to
you
that person.
did you get any lashback from that from anybody?
No, I haven't. I haven't even. I haven't gotten anything from anybody. No.
Okay, no, because you posted it on your account too, so I was wondering if anybody kind of
Well,
was like,
no, because
"Good."
my followers, they actually a lot of the people that are my followers on Instagram, they've and a lot of people when I was on TikTok before they banned my accounts 4 times, and they have talked to me, and I'll give them like divinely messages from their loved ones that passed away, like I did before you started this. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? And they know me, it hits straight on, or they'll be like, do you mind if I ask you a question? And I'm like, sure, go ahead. And so they'll ask me and I'll give them I'll tell them and then or guidance, and then I'll turn around and I'll be like, by any chance, um I said, will you be open to a message from spirit? And if they say yes, then I'll go into it. If they say no, then I'll be like, I respect that, that's fine, and I just drop it. But if I turn around and give a reading to somebody, like give them information about something, and they're like, well, I don't believe you, I don't believe you, and then there's picture proof, like the picture that you showed me, you put up there and I showed you that it's that, and they're like, well, I still doubt you, even though there's picture proof right there, I can't deal with you anymore. I can't.
mm-hmm.
I can't, because it's all there and everything, and I'm not going to subject myself to that energy and that low vibe crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I don't deal with people like that and stuff. So I
yeah.
can't do that.
If people want to receive your message, they have to be open to it, right? So
Right. I
if
don't
they're just
force it
going to
on
sit there
anybody.
and declare bullshit the whole time, then it's like your point is moot to them, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to spend my energy. Your energy, everything is energy. Everything is energy. The lamp, my cane, my pillows, me, you, everything is energy. And time is very precious. And time is speeding up and it's going faster and faster
I
and
feel
faster. In
it. I
fact,
feel
I
it.
shared a post on it that it proved that time is speeding up and everything. I shared it a while back and I want to repost that again and everything. Um, but uh, time is precious. You want to surround yourself with people that believe in you, that trust you, and know that you come from a place of being genuine and of integrity.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
don't want to waste your energy on people that don't believe in you, try to tear you down, and things like that. I'm not going to go through that. I've dealt with that before. I'm just going to shut it down and say, give them the middle finger. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Did you see that post I put up about the moon being a reflection of the Earth?
Oh, the moon isn't real.
Okay,
The moon.
tell me about that because it showed when they were kind of focusing in and out, it was showing what's around the continents that we can't see because it's like apparently outside of the ice wall.
Mm-hmm. See, the moon is a reflection of the Earth body, the Earth bodies. I say Earth bodies, the lands, the continents, and stuff. Okay, that's what I mean by the Earth body. Okay, but it's a spaceship that was brought here millions of years ago. It's not real, and it actually they use that as a science type thing to send out. Oh, I don't know if you call it MK Ultra or whatever, but wavelengths. Like how people like during a full moon, people get really emotional or things, things like that.
Yeah, that's why they call it. That's where the word lunatic comes from.
Yeah. It's like they use it as a signal to mess with people. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you? It's like a big science base inside, a big science laboratory thing with aliens, all different kinds in there. It's a spaceship inside, is what it is. And they
Plus,
turn
we only
around,
see one side of it.
and you're not ever going to see the other side of it. You won't
Yeah.
ever see the other side of it, you know? Um, and the thing is that they're up there and they have this technology. Like I posted a thing where they have technology that they can literally zap an individual person. They could be in a crowd and just zap one individual person.
It's literally like the Death Star from Star Wars.
Yeah, yeah. I posted a video on that. Yeah, there's patent and everything for it too. So yeah, nothing is as it seems that it is, and they have the capability from the moon to transform wave things to go out and make people act funky.
Lunatics.
Yes, yes,
It's so crazy
absolutely.
to me how like on that video that I posted, I was looking at the comments and people were saying, "What kind of drugs are you people on to believe in this?" And I'm like, I posted a comment saying you can't even see it when it's right in front of your fucking face.
We're all
Like what is
crazy until the truth comes out, just like the COVID shit and
yeah,
everything. Look at it now.
yeah, yeah.
Everybody's like everything's a conspiracy. Well, you don't hear too many people saying that anymore because 99.9 tenths of the, well, 98.9 tenths of the conspiracies have been proven to be right. And they're
All the
still being
time. Yeah.
proven. They're still being proven.
All the
See,
time. All the time.
all the time. And you don't hear people saying that too much anymore. Conspiracy theories, not like they used to. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, my thing fell.
It's
Not like they
things are
used to. It used to
changing.
be.
Like the consciousness is changing because at work now I am way less crazy than I was when I first started there 7 years ago. I came in there already being the quote unquote conspiracy guy. And now
Mhm.
people always come up to me and tell me things about what they see. They're like, dude, did you see this? Did you see that? I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's like, it feels like I'm I'm less alone now because people are all around me are waking up. It's pretty wild.
Well, they're waking up and they've also, maybe looked into it a little bit more or had other
Yeah.
people present something similar. And then they're like, okay, dude's like onto something here, so they feel more comfortable coming up and talking to you. So you've actually been a benefit out there in this world to a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I feel that. Yeah.
So just like me and other people that are out there talking about it, it's just finding the tribe. Like, I don't believe in some of the stuff people say, but that could be something, but like I said, I listen to my guides and they tell me what's right and not and everything like that. But this I'm telling you now, that old REM song, um, that the world's changing or something like that or whatever. It's that one
Uh,
song. Dang, I love it too. It's my one.
it's not the end of the world as we know it, is it?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, because it is the end of the world as we know it.
Right.
We know of it, I should say. It is the end of the world as we know of it, because energies and things like that are breaking down and the truth is coming out. Also, Pluto is in what is it? Pluto's in Aquarius, and what is it? Saturn is in Pisces. So that's all about Pluto and Aquarius is about, and Pluto will be in Aquarius, I think until 2043. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, I think it is 2043. So we're going to have a lot of that deals with AI, robots, dehumanization, war, nuclear. It deals with truth coming out. It deals with traditions dying and new things coming in. It also deals with you dropping your parents' traditions that don't no longer vibe with you, and you take and implement your own traditional things that you like better, that fit in and jive with you. Okay. It also has to do with uh oh, what's is that word? Every time I go to say it I forget it. um the truth coming out. It starts with the D. The word starts with a D. I always forget the word. um More truth is going to be coming out. More unexpected deaths are going to start occurring more, and that's going to go on and on. It's about space travel, but space is not up there. It's under the water, and space is around us. Okay, and we have a lot of space that hasn't been traveled. Like we haven't traveled a lot of the oceans, and there's reasons why. Because NASA actually started out as a water organization, and they came across some things that scared them and spooked them, so they shut it down and they went to the water, the air. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
The
right.
sky
I've heard that, yeah.
and stuff. But space, well, I mean, there's
Like what?
what
The
was it?
Leviathan that's talked about in the Bible? It's like a beast that is way down there
There,
laying
there
dormant.
is,
Yeah.
there is. There's the Leviathan. There's creatures that we haven't even encountered, giant crocodiles that are out there that are saltwater crocodiles that could be out, that are out there that are huge. There's all different types of creatures that are coming to the surface. You
Shit
know,
that if a black person saw it would turn them white.
it would turn a white person brown.
Yeah, because they shit themselves.
Exactly. So yeah, we'd all be looking like the same color because, man, I'm telling you, there's some shit that's going to be happening and everything, and the energy's changing. You also got to realize we had 7 different planets, outer planets, that have shifted, and they haven't ever been in these signs before for over 100 years. So I think it's 100 and some odd years. So everybody that's living on this planet right now, they haven't ever encountered this energy and what's going to happen.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because we got I think 2 or 3 more planets that are about ready to shift into signs. Excuse me. So there are 7 planets that were shifting into signs that everybody on this planet hasn't encountered yet. The energy, the changes, and things like that.
What are they though? If space is in the water, you know, they're luminaries, right?
I don't know. I can't answer any water stuff.
No, I mean
All I know,
like
all I know is
planets.
mermaids and sirens are real.
I mean
You know,
planet wise. Like when we see planets, what are they?
They're actually planets. When we see planets, the planets that we're seeing, they're actually made of like a fluid. Is that
Yeah, and
fluidity,
is it
or is that
within?
star? Is that star or something like that? Stars are made
It's
of
in
fluidity.
water though, right? Because like outside of the firmament is like water, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the sun and the moon, the sun that we have these days isn't even real. It's not real. They're sun simulators. All the states, all the countries have them. They're sun simulators, and I don't know if you've noticed the change in the heat. Like I used to be able to go out in the sunshine
It's different,
and
right? Yeah.
sit out there for an hour, 2 hours, and slowly my body would warm up. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
everything to where I got too hot and stuff. Um, the past, I'd say probably about 10 years, you can't do that anymore. You can't sit out there. It's like literally scorches you for like 5, 10 minutes in the sun. You're scorched. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's different. And a lot of people are noticing that too. It's just scorching hot. It's like literally, like I used to be on I was on the Ramblin' Rod show once, and they have those big heated lights there to, so it shows shows everybody better. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
When you're on stage and everything.
Like
Well,
a
anyway, they
stage
had that.
lighting. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That was the worst experience I ever had. I was like, I don't
And
want to
that's
be
what
a
it feels like
star.
now, right?
That's exactly what it feels like now. And then
Yeah.
I shared a post too about how they were taking down one of the sun simulators. They had to put a light bulb in it or whatever. I shared that. And I was like, what does a sun simulator look like? So I popped it in Google, and I was like, what is pictures of sun simulators? So it brings up all these pictures and stuff. So I clicked on one and it said that every state has a sun simulator, and they're big, and it shows them putting it in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's technology is crazy, right?
Yeah, well, all this technology is not new. They want you to think it's new. It's not. Look into the real history, not the fake
Yeah.
history. The real history will show you video and stuff of people that had flying cars. Stuff like when I was growing up. Remember those balloons that we used to fly? It would be Goodyear balloons and everything like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Notice how they just stopped all of a sudden? And things like that. I remember every once in a while people would go up in I think they're helium balloons, or what, or is that what they're called?
The hot air balloons.
No, not hot air balloons. I'm talking about the ones
Or
that look like a
the
bomb,
blimps.
the blimps. Yeah, the blimps. Okay.
Yeah.
When I was growing up in the 70s, those would float around every once in a while. It would be like people would pay, and you'd see one every once in a while. You know what I mean? And you'd see the Goodyear blimp thing, and stuff. But all of a sudden, it just stopped. Just like the bells, they took the bells down from. I grew up away. What is it? 2 blocks away from a nunnery, and at 12 o'clock, they'd always ring the bell and stuff. And then it just stopped. They just stopped doing it.
Why?
I don't know. I'm thinking it's because look at all the bells that they've destroyed. Because the thing is bells heal. The frequencies of bells heal.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It just doesn't tell you what time it is. They ring them for specific things, but they ring it all at 12. Every time at 12 o'clock, it was like a lunch bell, but it was a huge bell. It rang throughout the neighborhood. You could hear it from 20 blocks down, I swear, you know? And yeah, it just automatically stopped. It was crazy. But yeah, if we had those bells put back up, and that would literally wipe out a lot of this evil that's on this planet.
Because of the frequencies, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Way back, um, I guess was it World War II or before World War II? They had these massive zeppelins, and even the buildings had docks on them, like at the top, so people could
Yeah,
like get in on and out. Like, where is that technology now, right? Like, why is it gone?
it's not gone. It
I
hasn't
know,
been
I
gone.
know,
They
it
want
hasn't
you
been
to think
utilized
it's
though.
new, right? Because you want to know why? Some of the elites and stuff like that, they're using it and everything. The ones that are in the big control and everything are using that and stuff. But For us, they're charging it. They want to make it the hard way for it. You know, anything that they turn around and take that's natural and put it into something or add stuff to it, like chemicals and stuff to it, they could turn around and charge us and say that it's
Right.
not
Right.
natural. Do you see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just like medicine, they take cells or whatever it is from a natural thing, do a synthetic, put petroleum in it, and turn around and say that,
Oh.
you know, here we could charge you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's the same thing. I heard how God, I hope I can recall this. I was listening to Reality Czars podcast because my friend Nate hosts that show,
Yeah, I know
and
Nate. He's cool.
yeah, I love Nate. Him and his wife did a show together, and they were talking about how like plastic is like so unnatural and it's like satanic in a sense.
Mm-hmm. And that's why they jack up the prices of cotton and linen and wool and went to rayon and polyester. It's plastic. Gum
Anything,
now, even gum, like they sell over the counter and everything. Not the natural gum, but the gum that they sell over the counter. Remember old Hubba Bubba and stuff like that? That
yeah,
used to be with the gum from like however they normally made it with naturally, right? Now it's got all these toxins in it, but now gum's being made with plastic in it.
God, gross.
Yeah, it's maybe I should have posted on that too. That it's being made with plastic. So you're basically chewing plastic, so it's getting into your body and everything. So just everything's turned to plastic. It, they say it's because of to make it safer, but it's not. It's actually making it more dangerous. I'd rather go get milk in a glass jar than
Yeah.
turn around and buy it in a plastic bottle because by the time you get to that milk, it's consumed with plastic toxin ingredients in
Oh,
it.
for
You know what I
sure.
mean?
Like heavily pasteurized and
Exactly.
all kinds of preservatives and stuff in it. When I was a little kid, and visited my grandparents in Newfoundland, my grandfather would take me to the forest and chip away at a spruce tree with his
Hmm.
hunting knife, and just under the bark, he would take more of the tree and give it to me and ball it up, and that was gum.
Yep.
That was
That's why.
actually natural gum, and it
Yep.
was good for your teeth.
Hmm. And look at all these. Another thing too is look at all these these portable houses that are coming out. Some of the, like from China and stuff like that and everything, and they're importing them over here, but they're made out of plastic. I saw one of those. I saw one a post on it, an advertisement for one, and I was like, oh, nothing like a living in a human plastic bucket with a couple of air holes as windows and a door,
Yeah.
and everybody started laughing, and stuff like that. But it's the truth. It's the truth. They're bringing these plastic little portable homes, for $10,000. You can get a plastic portable home, one living room, one bedroom, one bathroom, and it's plastic.
It's fucked up.
You're living in a bucket with a couple of air holes.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Might as well, if you fart, you're gonna like kill yourself.
If you don't leave a window open, you will.
Right?
Just like, electric blankets, they used to be made out of wool. Now they're made out of rayon. My
Mm-hmm.
neighbor, if rayon and polyester and stuff like that. My friend's mom, she was like my adopted mom, Marianne. Her neighbor's house caught on fire, and not her house, but her neighbor's house. Excuse me, I was right. Well, the son had an electric blanket on, and the fire started in his room, and it turned out that one of the wires in there was defective, and it literally the blanket melted to his skin.
Oh my
And
God.
that the parents came back and said that the doctor said that if that wasn't made out of polyester and rayon, that it wouldn't have melted to his skin to where they had to if it's wool, it's going to burn and it'll get on there, but it's not going to stick. You see what I'm saying? Or cotton, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's not going to stick to you. You're talking about plastic. You see what I'm saying? Heat up plastic and drop it on your skin. It's going to
Yeah.
burn
It's
20 times to 30 times more hotter, and it's going to stick to your skin when it starts
yeah. It's gonna
cooling down.
meld into your skin. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Ugh, that's horrifying.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. Things are just changing. The hardest thing that I find is knowing the truth, seeing the truth, and being able to walk between both worlds and
Yeah, yeah.
trying to stay happy
Mm-hmm.
because knowing that your whole everything that you was taught was a lie, or shown was a lie. But you in a way, because you're younger, you don't know. You knew the truth, but you didn't know what it was and everything until you got older. I'm talking about
And then
spiritual and the gifts and things like
then
that.
yeah, and then you were told one thing and then accepted it, and then later you learned, oh shit,
Well,
you
the
know?
more and more that I became at peace with what was going on and listening to my intuition more and my guides and stuff like that more, that I knew that it was my guides, then things started coming out more. And then when I had a huge, huge, huge spiritual awakening. I think I've been in a spiritual awakening all my life, to be
Right.
honest with you. That's why
Yeah.
my business name is Born Awake, because I was born awake and then it just got more throughout my whole life all the time. It was constant. And then in 2016 is when it really hit, because the paranormal stuff got even more and more and more worse than what it was initially in 2009, 10 and stuff. It just got worse.
And even
And
now.
and oh yeah, well, being a psychic medium, you're a portal. Um,
Yeah.
you can protect yourself. I mean, me, I have to go in every place before I put a stick of anything in there, and sage and prayer, everything, and it takes time. I mean, it takes time before I put even a stick of energy, a stick of furniture or anything in there. I usually leave my purse out in the car underneath my seat with the doors locked, and
Right.
take a candle, patchouli or dragon's blood in there, black tourmaline crystal, and selenite, and a white candle, and I leave it on the center of the main part of the living room. And I take my sage and my Paleo Santos, and I open up a window and a door, and I start clearing it out, because I pick up on residual energy too.
Right.
So I could go in there and I could just feel it and see it
No,
and
like you're
everything.
you're one of the most receptive person I've ever met.
Yeah, it can be
Yeah.
crazy. I can see auras of buildings too and people and stuff. So I remember the first time I seen an aura of my neighbor. Oh, it was so black. It was like a black cloud. It was like a black cloud. Literally, it was like a freaking black cloud
Wow. Like
hovering over
Pigpen.
her. I mean, it was crazy.
Like
It was
Pigpen from
crazy.
Peanuts.
Yeah. I mean, it was
You
nuts. It was nuts,
stink.
Dave. It was just crazy. But I've had to go through all this stuff on my own. And then I didn't have anybody to ask questions. And it's like I'll be like going through something, and then somebody that went through the same experience or similar, they were able to give me information to confirm what I went through. So I was like, okay, yeah.
Right.
So that's how I learned that,
Everything gets confirmed.
yeah, everything gets validated.
Even
It's like I'll talk on stuff, and I've been talking on stuff for years, and people are like, "Oh, you're freaking crazy. You're freaking crazy." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm
yeah,
telling
yeah.
you, you can have energy exchanges. That's why I tell you to be careful when you go get your hair done or have any energy work. You better check these people out good and stuff, because they're touching your crown. They're touching your crown. Where do you lose energy at the most? Your crown, your feet, and your hands.
Yeah.
And then if somebody comes in closer, your heart area, because it's going out this way. Okay.
Right.
So when somebody is messing with your hair, you better make sure you know those people, and they're actually genuinely happy people and not vindictive people and stuff like that, because they can zap you. I had a client once that literally, she went to a healer, and she went with one of her friends, and she literally got zapped to the point where she felt like she was going to pass out, and she couldn't even finish the session. Her friend had to come in the room and literally kind of like carry her like out to the car, and she passed
Huh.
out in the car. And then when they got to her house, tried waking her up, and she's like, I don't have energy to move. I can't move. She goes, I don't even have energy to talk. She said she was like that for like a week and she couldn't figure
Wow.
out why. And I said, it's because that person zapped your energy. And it turns out later on that she found out that that person practiced voodoo too.
Oh shit,
Not
no
all
way.
voodoo is bad. Not all voodoo is bad, but some people
Right,
twist
right.
it. Anything good can be twisted into being bad. You see what I'm
And
saying?
vice versa.
Yeah.
And
So,
vice versa
yes.
too, right?
Pardon me?
And vice versa too, right?
Um, I think the bad can show you the way to the light,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I think the bad can show you the way to the wrong road, but we all have free will of choice that can't be interfered with. The only one that can make that choice is you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. You
You
were
know?
saying how like you feel like your whole life has been a spiritual awakening. I feel the same way because of,
Yeah.
like people always ask me what was like your red pill moment. I'm like, I can't even answer that question because so many things have happened in my life. When I look back, I'm like, oh, that was it. Oh no, that was it. Oh no, that was it. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that have happened that just made me aware, like I always was
Hmm.
aware about how politics and politicians were corrupt.
Hmm.
And especially in today, it's funny. Today's election day in Canada.
Oh wow.
And I had a coworker ask me just a few days ago, like, or they told me, oh, your boy Pierre, which is the conservative guy, is
Hmm.
down in the polls or whatever. I'm like, why did you call him my boy? Right? I said, they're all fucking corrupt. He goes, exactly. So he
Yeah.
was on the same level with me, right? I said, you're
Yeah.
not going to catch me at the voting polls, man. I'm sorry. Anybody who's listening to this, uh, people will say you're voting for the lesser of two evils, but you're still voting for evil, right? That's how I view politics. I'm not going
Well,
to
it
be
is.
responsible for who's going to go in office,
Yep.
because they're
Yep.
serving themselves. They're not serving us like they're supposed to be.
Exactly. Exactly. And the
They're
thing
serving
is
their own agenda. And right now it's a globalist agenda. So,
right, right. Because in any proper government, those people that sold the elections and things like that, those people that are trafficking children, those people that are cloning people, that wasn't even that's like against the law, but all of a sudden they mysteriously look just bypass that years ago, but that's been going on forever and a day anyway.
right.
All this stuff that they say is new coming out has been going on for a long time. They just want to, and they've been doing it. It's just they want to tell you that, oh, the government approved it, or this, it's been approved by science, whatever it is. It's been going on. It's been going on for a long time. They're just bringing it out to let you know that it's going to happen. But even though it's been happening, does that make sense?
Yeah. What's your hope though? Like, what's your hope of all of this mess and turmoil that we're in right now?
My hope, I don't really
Is there
hold
a
on
light
to
at the end
hope.
of the tunnel?
We're in for a big battle. I'm not spreading doom and gloom, but everybody's life. Okay, we're going to have similarities as a collective consciousness. Okay, happen and energy happen, and then we're all going to have things affected differently in our own lives. You see what I'm saying? So there's going to be a oneness about it in the collective consciousness
Yeah.
and energy and everything, but outside of that, we're all going to have our own individual situations that it's going to happen and how we deal with it individually, like we do
Right,
now,
right.
But
Yeah.
I wouldn't say hope. I would say that um, that my wish, my I'm not going to even say wish. More people will be waking up. I just hope that they're guided by the right information and not false information to steer them wrong to where they're being guided wrong by people that are out for greed in the spiritual
Sure.
community
Sure.
to take and get money and not teaching them the right way. That's why you're teaching them the correct way of things. Like, that's why I stick close to Native American and African American spiritual beliefs and stuff, because those have been tried and true. And
Hmm.
even Celtic, Celtic beliefs and stuff, because those have been tried and true, and they've been lasting through years and years and years and years and years. People have tried to take from that and twist it and this and this and this, and I'm not twisting nothing. I'm coming at you with the truth, and that's the way it's going to be, and that's the way it's going to stay.
It's the same with me. I'm coming at you with what I think or what I've discovered to be the truth at the moment. And
Right,
if something changes and it makes me change my mind, then I'll let people know that too, right? Like if
right.
I have a change of like, I'll be like, oh shit, I was wrong about that, and I'll be the
Hmm.
first to admit it. I'm not
Yep.
right about everything. I'm
Nope.
seeking. I'm a seeker. So
Oh yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
there's nothing that, and I don't want people to take my word for it either. I want people to like go look for it themselves. But this is what every episode I've ever done is where I'm at the moment. It's like
Oh
a place in time, right?
yeah.
So, and that's what
Yeah.
I found out at the moment. And if
I
I find something
encourage
to be
every.
false, I'll be
Mhm.
like, okay, fuck that then, right? Like I'll find something else, and hopefully
Yeah.
I'm right
I
about that. If I'm wrong, I'll admit
yeah.
it.
I'm a big enough person to admit when I'm wrong and stuff, and I'm not afraid to either. Nobody's perfect. And if anybody says that they're 100% accurate all the time, then, you better run from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
If you have somebody that's all coming, it's all about the money and it's all about money, and it's all about them, well, I can tell you this, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. Or it's their ego, and they get mad when you bring up something that you found information on something else, and you're
hmm,
talking to them about it, and they take offense to it because they think you're attacking them and their information. Then you can tell right there that that's like a false guru type person. Do you understand what I'm saying?
sure, sure.
Because they're okay. When you deliver a message to somebody, it's about the message. It's not about the messenger.
The, I was gonna say that. Remember that video I shared with you or I posted, where that's what happens throughout history is that the messenger becomes the god, right?
Yeah, and that's where the lower energies are. They're
Yeah.
they're that's where the lower energies, the material realm takes over. It's about the money, it's about the ego, and things. I've been wrong a few times, and I'm not afraid to admit it. But then later on, the person comes back and says, "You know what? You were wrong at that time, but this happened later on, so technically you're right." And I'm like, they don't give me a time on everything, guys. They can only tell me, like, I've predicted time a couple of times, and it actually happened, but I didn't say a specific time. I said within 1 to 5 days, and it happened that week for that
Right,
person,
right.
and they were blown away. And they don't give me a specific time. Very rare can people turn around and predict the specific time something is going to happen.
Sure.
Nobody is 100% accurate. So, but but it is what it is. And
It's just like what the Bible says about how no man knows the hour or the day, right? Like,
shit, David, we're not even running on a real damn calendar. Come on, people.
I know.
Why do you think they took the 13-month out? Why did you think they rearranged the actual true months for the
Right,
calendar and everything? Because to keep you confused. What is evil? Evil tries to keep you confused, try to keep you lower vibration. We're not even running in the right time. We're not even running in the right year. And when they do set the year to be 2025 as of the 1st of January, that's not even the real year when the real
right.
year starts. And it's not even the real year number.
Yeah,
And
we're
it's
all
not even
fucking
really
confused.
January. It's not even really January. So, what does evil like to do? They like to keep you confused, because you want to know what? The more you're confused, the more you burn up energy, you waste thoughts, and it feeds them, and it doesn't do you jack shit.
Yeah.
See?
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm going to back up here. That's what I'm saying. So when you know all this information and stuff, and it's like, and I'm not sure if you know this, but they're saying there's over 8 billion or 8 million people on this planet, which there isn't.
Billion. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
trying to depopulate or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, there's more synthetics, more background people, more NPCs and clones on this planet than there are humans.
That's crazy to think of. And it goes hand in hand with what they say about how there's a certain amount of population that doesn't even have an internal monologue or dialogue.
Yep. And now you got to throw in hybrids too, because we've got reptilian humans out there too now.
Yeah. I have
And
a
we've
friend that
got,
admitted to me that he doesn't have one. He doesn't have an internal monologue, dialogue.
yeah.
Like, holy shit. I'm like, I can't even imagine that.
Yeah. I mean, there are people out there like that. There's a lot of stuff out there. It's like people are talking about the divine feminine coming in and stuff like that. Always keep in mind, one is the male energy. Twos are female energy. Okay. So people that were born in 1999,
Yeah.
you're the last of the male energy. If you remember correctly, there started to be a shift more into the female divine goddess,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the
That's a
women
recent
power and
thing.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. You remember that? It started shifting around 1999, and then in 2000 it went to two. Two is the female energy, and then we had all that feminism going really harder and harder, and the man hate and the manly man is bad and on and on and on. Shit, I miss the manly man. I do. I grew up around manly men, and I appreciate them. I just don't appreciate the angry manly man,
Right. Right. Well,
and
that's
stuff.
different,
There's a
right?
big difference. There's a big difference.
The guy with the beer in his hand and in his underwear and mustard stained wife beater on, right?
Well, yeah, and likes to beat women and drink and
Yeah.
do drugs and stuff like that. I'm not into that. I'm into the man that knows how to treat a woman good and not afraid to share his opinions and his emotions and not afraid to stand his ground and, protect his family and his close friends and things like that. And not afraid to say right is right, wrong is wrong, and I'm calling your ass out. Stands on
Loyalty.
integrity. Yeah.
Loyalty. Like it's a tough gig these days.
Yeah. And war, this war that's going on, all these wars and stuff like that. I pray for these soldiers to wake up and see that they're just human sacrifices
Yeah.
to keep the evil going. It's just a huge sacrifice, is all it is.
And
It's a huge ritual.
all the division about like is Israel the good guy, is Palestine the good guy, this and that. They're all fucking corrupt. They're all sending their people, their militias to go fight each other and cause division and make people choose a side. And it's like that's what the politicians do.
Yeah. Well, the thing is I'm not big into murder and things like that or killing, but to kill an innocent child or an elderly person, that's defenseless or a disabled person, you know, or take advantage of the mentally ill, that's when I really, really draw the line.
Yeah, of course.
That is just absurd. That is just beyond words that I can even express. That it's just downright evil, you know. Stuff just crazy. And more and more people are going to experience the paranormal. It's already happening. It's already happening and stuff. It's already happening. The veil is almost gone, and it's gonna be gone here. Well, I'd say by 2026, it's gonna be gone.
I was always comparing CERN, the Large Hadron Collider, to the Ghostbusters containment unit in the movie. Because once that thing goes off, I think it's going to have something to do with like tearing down the veil completely.
Okay, every time I remember the first time they turned that on, it was 2012, and I felt that shift, and it was a negative one, and a lot of people felt it that I've talked to and everything, and there's a big change in their lives and the energy and everything like that. And a lot of people think that there's only one CERN, but I'm going to break it
Oh
down
yeah,
for you.
no, there's multiple, yeah.
Yeah, but here in the United States, every country has them. Canada's got them, but here in the United States, they're called laboratories. They're not called CERNs, they're called laboratories. See, to keep them hidden. Do you understand? To disguise them.
Right.
Yeah. So when they turned the CERN on the last time, not the last time they turned it on, it before that, they turned it on in South Carolina, I think it was, or North Carolina, South Carolina, I think. And they turned the big one on, and stuff. So every time they turn that stuff on, it messes with time, it messes with the realms, it sucks stuff in. They've already found entities and stuff like that coming in through there and
That's right.
things.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Recently, right?
yeah, and every time they do it, turn it down. I don't know if you remember me talking about it before that, or maybe it was a different podcast, and you might have heard me on there. But I said by the time the middle or ending of 2025, the veil is going to be like almost totally gone.
Mm.
And I said that in like 2023, 2024. Say so, yeah, and it's getting
And
there.
all
It's getting there.
this whole topic is prophesied by not only Christianity but from Hinduism and everything. It's not just a Christianity thing, like that's why I don't subscribe to one religion or any of them really. Like I look at it all as like pieces of the big puzzle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't even really look at the Bible anymore, and I'll tell you why. Because it's a bunch of pre-notion change stuff that they took from this book, this book, this book, this book, and put it into one. There's a lot of conflicting information and things like that in there. And no, I'm not gonna, I don't really follow it. I just, pray for the good for everybody. I want good for everybody, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I want good for everybody, and I want everybody to get their good, not other people's good, because there's a lot of people out there that try to take over and take people's lives away from them, just
Yeah.
because not be necessarily because they want it, it's because they don't think you deserve it. See?
Yeah.
So they want to take it from you just because they don't think you deserve it. Just like people, it's kind of like the thing, people remember you how you used to be, and you've grown, you've changed. You're not the same type of person, but they're still going to remember you from how you used to be and try to mess with you on who you are now. And that's just not going to fly.
Right. Um, the band Megadeth.
Yeah.
They had an album come out in 2013 called Super Collider, which was about
Uh-huh.
the Large Hadron Collider.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it was the whole album that was themed after it, but there's definitely a title track which is called Super Collider. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's very aware of what's going on, and he actually Dave Mustaine became a born again Christian,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows what's going on, whether that's true or not, whether he
Yeah.
practices it or not. But he's in a spotlight, right? He's got a platform. He's got a huge band, but he can kind of give away some of those ideas, right? So,
Right.
uh, but yeah, I think the LHC has a lot to do with what's happening, or what's
Mm-hmm.
gonna happen.
I, I just like I said, I want the best for everybody. And stuff's going to be changing, and more paranormal stuff's going to happen. It's already happening to people.
I'm having a
and
hard
things.
time. I'm having a hard time financially. I mean, me and my father, right?
Yeah.
I had a I got diagnosed with plantar fasciitis. My job is very physical. I walk a lot. I got insoles, which are helping immensely, thank God.
Oh, good, good.
But my legs and feet, it's just like I have to, and plus I have Crohn's disease. So that mixed with the walking and the pain, it's like I had to take time off. And I got a whole month off from my doctor to get all this sorted out. And the insurance for my work decided that they were not going to pay me because my condition was not severe enough. They basically said, "Oh, you should be able to go back to work." And I said, "Well, my doctor gave me a month off. What are you, my doctor? You're overriding his opinion?"
Hmm.
And they basically, in a roundabout way, said, "Yes, we are overriding his opinion and saying that you can go back to work." And I'm like, "Okay, so you're going to pay me for the time that I had off, where my doctor said I shouldn't be going to work?" No, we're not. So I had a whole month
Wow.
of money that is gone, and I'm still trying to catch up. I couldn't give my dad my share of the rent, and we were forced to go to the food bank. And I described my situation to the insurance company, and they basically said,
They don't care.
"Tough, tough fucking luck, buddy.
Yeah, they don't care. They
Suffer
don't care.
and enjoy it."
A lot of people are struggling, and a lot of people are struggling. And then, yeah, in fact, I was just talking to a friend of mine about this. We know a couple of people that they're always going out eating and drinking and going to concerts and, you know, putting on these big party type things for their
Yep.
cultures and stuff like that. And I'm like, they have good jobs, they own homes, nice homes and stuff like that. But how do they afford that? And she's like, I've been wondering that myself too. I'm
I'm
not being
wondering
mean
that.
because a lot of people I talk to, they're struggling in one
Yeah.
or several different ways, either health or, finance, health, finances, food, um, losing a loved one, and,
Yeah.
things like just, so it's just like everybody's going through it. Everybody's going through it. And we need to have compassion, um,
You know
for
what?
the same compassion that, well, I'm going to put it this way: the same compassion you give other people, you need to give to yourself,
Yeah,
and the same compassion you give to yourself, you need to give to other people.
absolutely.
There's
Yeah.
a difference. There's a difference between compassion and making excuses for people, and we got to stop making excuses for people. Bullshit's bullshit, and people need to start calling it out. More, because they honestly are. So, but
Vicki, where
I
I work, where I work, it's retail. You know where I work, right?
yeah.
I don't say the name ever. I try not to. Um,
Yeah, I just said, yeah,
but
I'm not going to go into.
yeah, yeah. But I'll tell you, every day it's like max capacity all day, all night, and I'm like, and the place that I work at is not cheap to shop at, and I'm
Hmm.
thinking, where are these people getting this fucking money?
Yep.
I go in there to buy like a couple things maybe, and I'm like, that's it, because that's already expensive. But people have
Yeah,
their
two things
carts like
cost $100.
people are walking out with fucking two full shopping carts. Like I'm like, how?
You got to remember, you're talking to somebody that grew up in the 70s, and in the late 70s, early 80s, a shopping cart was either $89 depending on sales or $100. You get a full shopping cart, bottom to the
Right,
top, overheaping. Bread
right.
was 25 cents a loaf to 35 cents a loaf.
Yeah.
See? So
Well,
so
I
I've
grew up
I've
in
gone the
cheaper times
gamut.
too. Yeah,
Yeah, I've
I
gone the
grew up.
gamut. So you saying coming out with a card, I'm thinking that's probably like over $600 right there,
Oh,
what the way
absolutely,
prices are these days,
absolutely.
depending on what state or country you're in.
Absolutely, it is. And that's why I'm thinking, how are these people affording this? And this place is jam packed every day. And I'm like, And some people I notice are there like 2-3 times a week.
Wow.
And I'm like, do you get up? Do you like, is the first thing that people do when they wake up in the morning is, I have to go there? You know, it's like, where are all these people coming from? It feels like the entire city is coming in to shop there every day.
Yeah.
And these companies complain that they're not making enough money.
Well, of course they're going to complain they're not making enough money. It's based on greed. It's all about
Mm-hmm.
greed.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of these places are government affiliated, so they get a lot of tax write-offs.
Right.
They get tax write-offs for hiring people off of welfare. They get 5,000 to 15,000 back a person.
And then they ask us sometimes if we want to donate to a charity, and it's like, how about donating to me?
But that money doesn't go. But see, the thing
Tax
is what it
write-off.
is that the thing is they donate to that company, they donate to that organization. Sometimes they don't even donate, they keep it. They ask you for the money to go to this thing and donations, and they keep that money.
Right.
There's a scam to it that these companies pull. That's why I do not donate to anybody. If I donate, I'm going to specifically go to a rescue, a food shelter, you know, a thrift
Someone on
store,
the
a
street.
donation place. Yeah, I will not go. I will not donate to those little buckets at McDonald's or Burger King or the bank or any, because what they're trying to do is trying to take your money to fill their pockets.
Let's donate to cancer research. How about no? Because they already have the fucking cure. They're not giving it out. How about, like,
Oh, they've
where's
had the
that
cure
money
for
go?
generations. Yeah, they've had the
Yeah.
cure for generations. And the thing is cancer is a man-made, man-made, man-made. It's created by man. Okay, I'm going to just put it to you this way: any disease is created by man. God didn't create that.
Right.
The diseases are created by man, scientists. The
This
ones
is one thing where people say, "Well, if there was a God, why did he make cancer and all this shit?" Because he didn't.
because he didn't. Because look at
Yeah.
Satan is basically in this realm. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
This
it's his
is
kingdom.
this, yeah. And the way I look at it, as above, so below. We're here to try to make, heaven down here on earth. But yeah, but I'm also the type of person that believes that this is the first level of hell.
Right.
I really do. I really do
Like
believe that this is the first level of hell.
Sam Tripoli always says it's the lowest part of heaven and the highest part of hell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the in-betweener, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
It's the
I
soul
believe that we
school.
are here to experience what it's like to live in a human body, a human experience, but also, we're also here apparently to be experiments.
Right.
Because we're
Little
being
fucking
experimented
lab
on
rats.
constantly. Yeah, we're lab rats. I think you saw that post that I posted, a while back. I said, they say, well, we're spiritual beings here to have a human experience. And I said, more like we're here to be spiritual beings having to be experimented on.
Yeah.
So things are
It's
constantly
heavy
changing. Everything
shit.
is, huh? Yeah.
It's heavy shit.
I mean, it's just weird. Everything is just weird. I mean, it's just crazy. Shit's just crazy. I took my family in because they were struggling and everything and stuff, and now they're walking all over me. So
That's crazy.
yeah, I can't really talk too much about it because I know they're listening. That's why
Right. Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
trying to drop down the energy or anything like that. But
No,
yeah, that's why I
I
haven't
get that.
really got into if people want to make a specific appointment with me for readings and stuff, we'll set it up and we could do it that way. But I
Yeah.
haven't been, well, that's another reason why I haven't been on doing lives too. That's one. Plus, I've been really, really sick. And number three is because, what is it? Instagram had me blocked out for 2 years from doing lives, and I hadn't even been on a live for like half a year.
Yeah. Well,
They were penalizing me for posts that I posted over like 5 months, 5 years ago, and stuff out of the history of, my posts and stuff. And I was just like, and they sent me 30 of them in one night, just kept saying, this is going to, but just after the other, after the other, after the other, after. And I'm like, what in the hell is going on? And then I went to go do a live and everything. And it said that I'm not able to do a live. Each one of those notices said 90 days. So,
Right. Yeah.
so I was blocked out for that long, and yeah, so I'm just like, whatever. So I just,
It's absurd.
yeah. And I don't even mention that I'm
Absurd.
going to go live. I'll just post
I
it if
don't
I'm going to
I
go.
don't get
And
the reach I should be getting either because nobody
yeah,
sees my shit that I post. And I have to go when I post something, I have to be that annoying guy that sends my post to everybody just so they can see it,
yeah. Well, I'll
you know?
start sharing your stuff more and everything. I've been kind of like backing down and stuff being on Instagram and things because I need a break. But that's why I'm kind of I'm posting truths about stuff, and everything
Mm,
just to keep my thing alive. But I want to get back into doing, readings and stuff, and getting out there talking about the paranormal and, my experiences and stuff, and things like that, because I
yeah.
miss it. That's part of what helps me, feel good, and the stuff is helping. Sorry, I moved my phone, hit the cord, moved my phone.
I'm
So
I'm the type I'm sure you know I'm the type that likes to get people try to get people off the ground with their content.
mhm,
Like people come on my show and I want to help them be promoted too.
yeah,
I like to post other people's content in my stories or share it with other people. But what I've found in doing that, people will be like, "Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you." But like hardly anybody shares my content. I'm like, "Okay, should I be fucking sharing your content then?" I'm just going to keep doing it because that's my heart, right? But I find
yeah,
like the love isn't very reciprocated,
yeah. Well, I get that too. I get that a lot. So, but I'm just like, whatever, But I stopped doing it for a while because it was like, okay, I just don't want to go to that extent right now. I need a
Yeah.
break. There's some things I need to just change for a little bit, and things. So, but yeah, but I want to get back into making my account more about me and less other people, unless I find, they support me and I support them, but unless I find truths in what they're saying, then I'll share. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
It's
Yeah.
got to be about the truth. It's got to be about the
Yeah.
truth and spreading awareness, but I want to make it more about me. Get on there, do more
Truth,
videos, do more readings.
truth or something that resonates with me, I'll
Yeah.
repost it. I'll post in my story. Like for example, the whole moon thing, right? Like it being a reflection of the earth. Like, do I believe in that? Possibly. It's a philosophical thing for me. It's like I'm open to that. But if people want to call bullshit, that's okay. You know what I mean? It's just that I can
Hmm.
see that being a possibility, whereas a lot of other people, like I said, were in the comments saying, "What kind of fucking drugs are you on?" And it's like, well, dude, like you can look at that and think, yeah, it's possible. But you can also think, but what they think is, it's been proven that the Earth is a sphere and this and that and blah 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 blah. It's
Hmm.
like, but like that's what the world is telling you. That's what you've been raised to believe, you know?
Hmm.
But the fact that you can't open your mind to it and be less angry at the person who thinks it's possible, that's
Hmm.
saying something to me.
That's saying a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people out there like that. But, the thing is, too, are they even human? Are they just bots? Are they,
Well, that's
a lot
another
of
thing
people in
too.
NPCs,
Is nine times out of ten,
synthetics?
I'll go look at their profile and they have like zero followers or whatever, right? So it's
Yeah,
like,
I don't even pay attention to them. If I do say anything, I'm like, well, coming from an NPC, and then I'll just block them.
yeah,
I'm not playing into it. I'm not going to play into it. That's what they want. They want a reaction. and everything, so that they could turn around and report you or do something to your account or shut it down or whatever. And I'm not playing into their game,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. No,
So
I usually don't engage in comments, but sometimes I can't resist, you know?
oh, I know, you get that fire underneath your belt, and it's like, okay, I've had enough
I'm
of
like,
them. I
yeah,
hear
I'm
you,
just
I've
like,
been there.
it's like, dude, why are you so upset at people? Like, they're thinking differently than you. Like, it's fucking retarded.
Yeah, I just don't understand why people think that they have to experience everything the same. Everything has to be thought the same. Everything has to look the same. Everybody has to wear the same thing. No, we're not.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, it's just like all these spiritual people. Some people are meant to be able to drink and smoke a little wacky tobacco, you know,
yeah,
and or smoke cigarettes. Some people are to be totally clean. They
yeah,
can't,
yeah.
that's not on their journey. They need to be an open vessel to the divine, and
Right, right.
that's, you know, what their journey is.
Yeah,
So to turn around and say that somebody can't be a specific way it's wrong, it's incorrect, you know.
yeah. It's funny. I did an episode with Brandon Williams a few back, and it was funny because he reposted the whole interview on his Twitter, and
Uh-huh.
I was looking at the comments. I was laughing because one guy said, "This is the first time I've ever seen somebody smoke a cigarette on a podcast."
Really?
Yeah, like really? Well, watch my show more often.
I'm over here with one of these e-cigs. I'd really like to have a regular cigarette, but I haven't had one in a long time.
Yeah,
My son got me on these and stuff, and I just puff at them once in a while. But when I'm talking, I kind of like puff on them a little bit more. So
well, I
I
quit
don't
the
know.
drinking, so it's the cigarettes that are like, they're still there, right? But one thing at a time.
Well, you know what?
I'll still
I'll end
I'll
up.
have a
I'm
few
proud of you. That
beers
I'm proud.
every now and then, but it's not a nightly thing like I was doing for the past 12 fucking years, right?
Well, yeah. The thing is you got to be ready to make the changes. You've got to be. Nobody can. You know.
Yep.
Sometimes, okay. The thing is that you can be guided to stop doing something, and your guides are beating their head up against the wall, saying, "I'm telling you, I'm showing you, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing this." And you keep doing it, and then something drastic happens. You drive drunk. I'm not saying you did or anything. I'm
No, I
saying
never
just
did that. Yeah.
I'm giving an example. You drive
Yeah.
drunk, you hurt somebody, injure somebody or property, or you end up dying, or you end up killing somebody else, or you end up locked up.
Hmm.
That was your final warning
Right.
right there.
When are you
They
gonna
gave you
stop, fucker?
they gave you this many. You weren't listening, you weren't paying attention, you weren't seeing the signs, the synchronicities, anything like that, or the conversations that you had with family and relatives that used to be ex-drinkers saying, please stop drinking, you don't want to go
Right.
down this road. You're not listening to all that. So this is how drastic the divine had to get to turn around and get you to pull your head out of your baduka.
Yeah. It actually wasn't very drastic for me. Like nobody was telling me, you should stop drinking this and that. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't really because I was just at home, not harming anybody but myself, right? And
Yeah.
I never had anybody like come at me about it saying you have a problem, this and that. But for me, it was I would never really vomit because I
Mm-hmm.
would always drink like the same amount, right? But I was
Mm-hmm.
starting to throw up like it was like 3 or 4 times, and like the fourth time I was like, I'm not doing this anymore, and that was it. And it was like the next day I stopped, and then
Yeah, it's your body telling
I
you.
didn't really get tempted to start again. So
It's like it's your body telling you you got to shut down. The divine
yeah,
works through your body. Your whole body from the inside out is a living organism,
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
and stuff. And your body can only take so much. And the divine is going to give you messages, whether it's through your body, through people, through music, through, you know, through words in a book,
Yep.
a
Oh,
video,
that happens all
anything,
the time. Yeah.
I got to tell you this. I was laying here the other night. I was on Instagram and I kept having this song pop in my head. I can't remember what it is, but it was going on for like a week now. And then I started flashing back to when I lived over in Hillsboro, Oregon, and I was living in this apartment and I had a lot of paranormal stuff going on there. And I'm telling you, I would hear this one song, Do You Want to Party? Do you know that country song? It was Hank Williams Jr. Do you
Okay.
want a party? Like that. And I would hear that. And it wasn't my neighbors. And it was just the sound was in my room. I have no radio on, no stereo in my room or anything. And I'm laying there and I'm reading a book, and this song would come on, and I would hear it in my room. And that went on for like 2 weeks. And it was always the same time when I'd lay down, that song would come on. And I'm looking around the room and I'm like, what the heck? And I even got up, went outside in my robe, walked out the walkway to the front sidewalk, and I looked up. My neighbor's lights were off and everything. It's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I go back in my room. And as soon as I go in my bedroom and I lay down, there's the music again. Do you want to party?
No
And I was
shit.
just like, no, I'm not joking. And so here I am. Here, there's this one song that kept going through my head. And I'm like, you know what? There's a message in this somewhere. There's a message in this somewhere. Oh, I know what that song is. It's by Dawkins. It's by
Oh,
Dawkins.
okay.
And the song it has, oh my gosh. And I haven't thought of Dawkins in years. In years, 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 years,
Shout out
years.
to Don Dawkins.
And it's gosh, what is the name of the song? It's gonna come to me when we jump off of here. It's gonna come to me when we jump off. And I don't like it when that happens. Or it'll come to me at 12 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, Davy Wavy, here's the song. You're gonna look like a fool on your podcast." So
I can list some of their hits.
yeah, it was a pretty popular song.
Just got lucky, breaking the chains, into the fire, the hunter, in my dreams, it's not love, alone again, dream warriors, unchain the night, tooth and nail, almost over, magic man, bus stop. None of those ring a bell.
I think it was one of those. One of the top. Read the top 3 or 4 again, will you?
Just got lucky, breaking the chains, into the fire, the hunter.
I think it was Breaking the Chains.
Okay.
I think that's what was the one right there. But don't quote me on it. We'll go with Breaking
Yeah.
the Chains for right now.
But it is Dawkins though, right?
Yeah, it was Dawkins because I typed in who sings this song because I couldn't remember it because I haven't heard Dawkins in years. I love heavy metal music and stuff, but I kind of steered away from it, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So, and I'm just like, but I do like it and everything. I've listened to it. I was a big heavy metal thrash, partier person, spiritual person back in the day, but I just kind of veered away from it and things. And what is with Motley Crue all over Instagram, man? I'm so sick of Motley Crue. I liked a couple of their songs, but man, I'm telling you,
I
it's
was
every
never
time
a
I
huge
get,
fan, honestly.
yeah,
They were
and
never my thing.
it's like all over Instagram, and I'm like, oh my God, please, enough already, enough already. He can't even say the words to the song anymore.
I know.
Leave it alone.
God.
So
These
I was
guys
going to
though,
tell
like
you,
what else
moving
are they
in here,
gonna
I got a
do?
lot of paranormal stuff going on. Did I tell you about that?
Yeah.
I can't hear you. What happened?
Can you hear me right now?
The volume cut out.
Uh-oh.
There we go. You there?
Yep.
Okay. The volume
Okay.
cut out. Yeah. So I did tell you about the paranormal stuff that's going on here and stuff that.
Yeah. If you want to
today.
indulge the audience, that would be cool.
Oh yeah. So when I moved in here and everything, this is the first place that I didn't sage and pray over and stuff like that because what was going on there. The last place I lived at was the property was haunted. It was severely haunted. So was the duplex, and I was just getting sicker and sicker there. And you know that, Davey.
Yep.
And stuff, that last place. So I was looking to finally find a place, and I moved, and I just didn't have the strength and the energy to sage and everything. And I should have. Well, I was sitting in my kitchen with my dog because apparently I don't get good reception and everything in this place with my cell phone. So my dog is looking out in the living room, and my guide said, "Look up." And I look up, and over in the far northeast corner, this black demon thing comes flying through the wall. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, it's okay, Jasper, it's okay, and stuff. And my dog could hear and everything. He had no hearing problems or anything like that. And it's like the second month we moved in here, second or third month we moved in here, and I took a picture of my grandbaby. My grandbaby was seeing stuff. She calls him monster. She saw him at her place, and she'd see him here too. Um, I took a picture of my grandbaby standing in the living room, not the living room, but the kitchen door frame. And in the background, there's my dog laying on the floor in the living room. And I thought it was like this bag of towels that I had from when I moved, and I still needed to put them away because I didn't have enough room. And then it dawned on me, I don't have any towels in a bag in there. I have a
Hmm.
bag that has my fairy house building stuff in it and everything, but it's not that big. And so I zoomed in and looked closer, and this was a demon hovering over my dog.
I think you sent me that picture before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I did.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, now my dog's deaf. 3 months of
No
living here,
way.
my dog's deaf, totally deaf. And he had no hearing problems and stuff. And it would always hover over my dog and bug my dog. Now, I lived here it was like the second week I lived here. I sleep with my bedroom door open, and my bedroom's over on the east side. Yeah, the west side, excuse me, of the duplex. And the door's open, and I have my grandbaby here, and we were watching a little cartoon show before she goes to sleep. And all of a sudden, here comes this light figure in a cloak, zooming from the bathroom door was open, zooming from the bathroom into the living room super fast. And it turned its head to make sure I was looking at it, right? And it was looking in the bedroom. And it was zoomed
They
in
like
the living room,
attention.
zoomed back into the bathroom, zoomed into the living room, zoomed into the bathroom, did it 4 times. And I was like, okay, just let it go. I'm not going to feed into it or anything like that. And then I've had growling in my bedroom, and I just turned up twice in the other room before they moved in here, and then growling in here. And I just tell it to shut the F up, get the F out of here. I get them walking in my bedroom, walking through the walls. I had a little girl appear one night. I leave because I'm in a smaller room with the sun on it all the time. I get the leave the door open to get circulation in here with the fan and stuff because it's too hot in here for me and my dog. So I'm sitting here and I'm on Instagram and I'm thumbing through, and I look over and here's this little girl in this white like t-shirt like nightie, but it's got the spaghetti straps type things nightie,
Mm.
and she's standing there and she has her arms like this out like this and stuff. And I knew what it was. It wasn't a little girl, it was a demon. Her eyes are black and stuff. And then another one was I had a wall crawler demon. Somebody came out of the bathroom over there to use the restroom. And the next thing I know, there's this head tilted this way, about 5 foot up the hallway, a little wall. The little wall's about this big before, the door comes on the other side in the hallway. And it's hovering. You can see its eyes like this and its head. And it had piggy tails in its hair for hair. It was
Jesus.
braided. It was braid, piggy tail braids. Okay. And it was looking like this, like that. And I'm like, okay, there you go. I got it. And then there was one, I was one time over before my son and those guys moved in with me because they lived one unit over. I was over there visiting, and I literally saw a child walk through the neighbor's wall into their bedroom, but I didn't say anything. And the dog saw it too. Their dog saw it too. And then Ava comes over here, and I remember she was helping me finish put the last box of stuff in the living room into the bathroom when I moved in. And she was standing by this where this my room is, which was originally supposed to be my office. And she's standing there and she's waving at something. And I look in there and I'm like, who are you waving at? And all of a sudden this orb comes flying out, goes right past me. And she wouldn't tell
Wow.
me. She wouldn't tell me. So I've always told her she could tell me anything. She's seen the other, what was it? The a couple nights back, she goes, Grandma, there's a monster girl under your bed. she lost one of her toys when she comes in here and play. It was under my bed, and she was jump screaming. I've had people say, well, do you think she's just saying that to get attention? I said, look, you know when a child's in fear
Right.
and stuff, and that's the only time she does is when she's in fear. She takes off running, and or she'll come to me and she'll be quiet and she'll be like, grandma, there's a monster, you need to get it out. And she'll come to me, and I remain calm and everything, because I'm trying to teach her not to feed it into fear,
Yep.
feed feed fear into it, because that's what they want. And so I'm like, I'm coming. And so she's like, grandma, it's right over there, because sometimes I can't see them. They'll hide from me because they know I'll come after them, you know.
They
And
know
she
that
goes,
you
that's
can
right.
see them.
Pardon me.
They probably know that you're
Oh
receptive to
yeah.
them. Yeah,
Oh yeah, I could see him. I could see him walking
yeah.
by. Last night I was talking to my friend on the phone, and there was one walking. It was a man walking back and forth across my bedroom. One of them messes with my feet at night and
No
stuff.
way.
If my feet are out of my blanket, it likes to pinch my skin on my feet. It's like taking two fingers pinching like that. But as soon as I put them underneath the blanket, they stop. Um,
Oh, so he's a pedophile.
oh, you're so funny. So anyway, as I was saying, I went out there and I got rid of them and stuff like that. And then there was a time that I had a package delivered. And I thought it was in the mailbox, and it turns out it was on my front porch. So I go out there, and the top part of my screen door is glass. The bottom part is glass and screen. And my grandbaby, I told her to stay back, and stuff. And she was standing in the hallway with two of the dogs. And I took a picture of her with both the dogs because it was really cute. And I took it on the part that was glass, right? I think you might have seen this picture too. And
I
I
think so.
circled where you could
You share a
see,
lot with me.
yeah, I circled where you could see the man's spirit, a demon, another demon, and a bunch of
Yep,
faces
yep.
in the hallway. Yeah. And so anyway, then there was one time that my grandbaby used to stay the night here before they moved in, and she's like, grandma, there's a monster right over there. There's 5 of them in here. And I said, Ava, I said, it's okay. Grandma will get them out. Don't pay any attention to them. And she goes, grandma, it's telling me that it's going to kill me. I said, no, it's not. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. It's not going to kill you. Grandma's got you. Grandma's got you. See, this is how they talk. They hurt. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not that my grandbaby, but this is how they talk to you. You see what I'm saying? To fear you, to take over and everything. And then there was one time her and I were sitting at the dining room table, and we were doing arts and crafts project, and she had something come over and whisper in her ear and pull her hair, and she said, leave me alone, like that. And I saw her hair move and everything, and I said, Ava, is a monster? And she said, yes, grandma. And I was like, yeah. I said, I figured it was here, because whenever our dining room light flickers out of control, that means something's there. And she can see him too. One night we were sitting there playing a game with slime, and there was one standing behind me. And then there was a different time that there was one that was standing by us, and we were laughing. We were laughing really loud. It was hilarious. She did something silly. It was funny. And we heard this like that, and we both heard it. And it came from the wall by me. And we both stopped. I said, did you hear that? And we both looked at each other and said, yes. And then there's another time we were at the dining room table eating lunch, and something was banging in the kitchen. We'd go knock, 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 knock. And I'm just like, ignore it, Ava. She's like, that's right, grandma. And then there's been times where the
Wow.
doorbell
What was
rings
it
and,
knocking on?
pardon me,
What was it
cupboards,
knocking on? Oh,
cupboards and
cupboards. Okay.
counters. Yeah, but I don't think it was. I don't know if it was. I couldn't tell if it was inside or outside, because it was the loud. It was loud enough to where you couldn't tell the difference. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And then there's been times where I'll like take a nap, and they'll make the sound of the doorbell ringing to try to wake me up to open the front door to try to let them in. You see what I'm saying?
Is
Like,
it
oh,
actually
who's
ringing
this?
the doorbell, or is it
No,
mimicking the
they're not
sound?
ringing the doorbell. Oh, I've
Okay.
had
Yeah.
fake.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had them ring the real doorbell, and I won't open the door. I won't even
Right.
go towards the door. Um, because I know their game, or they'll pretend to ring the doorbell. They'll make the sound, but it does, and it sounds just like the doorbell. But they want me to get up and either wake me up or go open the front door to let them in, and stuff. And then there was a time where I was
Fucking
taking,
pricks.
taking a nap, and I was in a deep sleep, and I got woken up to beating on this wall over here, and my neighbors weren't even home.
Do
And
you live in
I'm
a attached house?
pardon me. I live in a
You're,
one level duplex. It's got a
oh, okay,
duplex,
okay, okay.
and one side, the bedroom side has the bedroom, the bathroom, and another bedroom. The other side of where the living room and the kitchen are, and the dining room is another. It's just like a storage unit for people to store their stuff in. See, so it's open all the time. And remember,
Okay.
I've told you before, you got to be careful with where you store stuff because people will bring stuff in, with them. Empty boxes. Demons like to hide in empty boxes. Demons like to hide around dust and things like that. Dark places that aren't accessed a lot, and that storage unit isn't accessed a lot. I know when people go in there because I can hear them open the door, and they open the door, and I can hear it through the wall. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
And
right.
generally, when they go in there, they slam the door. I've had to ask people not to slam the door and stuff because it's so loud. It's so loud it
That is
rattles the
wild.
cupboards. Yeah. So I mean, it's a nice place and everything. I like it and everything, but it goes back to, oh, when I moved in here, that's another thing too. I was outside on my patio and just enjoying having a backyard with a tree in it and everything. And all of a sudden, it's like all these orbs came flying in. I can see with my eyes, just orbs and spirits walking by. And then there was one time before my relative, my son and his girlfriend moved in, they came to pick up my grandbaby, and they left the front door open, the screen door was closed. And I look over, and here comes a spirit just from right across the street, just coming right over towards my house. I got up, went over, and I shut the door really fast and locked it. I'm not
Jesus.
scared. It's just, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's the thing
yeah.
is about
It's like,
being a
get this
psychic
fuck out of
medium.
here,
Yeah, well,
dicks.
it's like being a psychic medium. They come running, they come
Yeah.
running. They
Do you
come
know
running. It's
why your
spirits, it's
place is such
demons,
a
or
hot spot?
things can be attached to the land. You live in an apartment or a duplex or a house. Well, not a house so much. Houses, they can have stuff attached to it, depending on the situation. The land can, depending on the people and what they did in there, residual energies and stuff like that. But um, like I just said, I'm a psychic medium. I'm a portal. I'm a walking portal.
Yeah.
So
It's
that
like
can
Whoopi
bring,
Goldberg in the movie Ghost, right? Like they're
well,
all
yeah,
around her all the time.
yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah. And they're here. They know I'm coming. It's like I'm a bright white light, and it's like a moth to a flame. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they just start coming. And there is an elderly lady here. She doesn't
They
want me
probably
to leave.
like people that could see them because they get attention.
Well, they get attention, and they try to mess with them and stuff like that. And you know, it's just weird. It's just weird. Like I said, there's a little old lady that lives here too, and she's. I was talking to one of my friends, and she didn't realize she was a psychic medium until I talked with her. And she's like, you know what? I pick up a little old lady there, and I said, yep, and she's here to help me, help protect me.
Hmm.
So yeah, I've lived this my whole life, and it's just like whatever,
Normal for
you know,
you.
huh?
It's kind of normal for you. I have a
Yeah.
question.
Yes. Give me a question. Just don't be like my grandbaby. Say, Grandma, I got a question, and then turn around and say, and then say a statement, but no question. It's not a question. She
No,
does
this
that.
is
She'll
a
come in and
question.
she'll be like, Grandma, I got a question. I'm like, what is it? And she'll be like, I'm going to go here today. And I'm like,
That's
okay, but that's not a question.
not a question.
Yeah. So it's cute, though. I just thought it was cute. So when you said that, I had a flashback of her saying that. I'm like, okay.
I think we're gonna end it off here too, but this may take a while. So this is the last topic.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if I've told you this before, but and it's going to lead up to a question. I I think for the past 3 or 4 years now, I'm a heavy dreamer. I dream every night. I always have dreams, but a lot of the dreams that I have are me back in either middle school or high school or college, and I don't have, I need like 1 or 2 more credits, and I have to take 5 classes. So I keep skipping all the other classes except for the ones that I need credits for. And then I find out, what the fuck? I already graduated. Why am I still in school? Why am I still going for these classes when I don't need to go to school anymore?
That was
Why
in
do
your
you?
dream,
Yeah,
or
and that's the theme, a regular theme of a lot of my dreams. Why do you think that is happening to me? Because it doesn't bother me. It's just like, oh, another fucking school dream. You know what I mean? And it's not
um,
uncomfortable or unnerving or anything. It's just a lot of my dreams are like that.
education? Go back to school to get an education or a trade. Um,
I
and more
can't. I
information.
hate academia.
Okay, well, the thing is educate yourself on things. Look up information, things that you're interested in, things that think that people want. I'm getting that they want you to go back to school, like some sort of a trade, is what I'm getting. Educate yourself, no matter if you're out of school or not. Keep educating yourself on what interests you, what will help you make money, more money, be more self-sufficient and things. So that's what I'm picking up on. That's why.
Okay.
So
I
it's
thought
something to kick. It's something to kick around. It's something to kick around.
I
You
thought
know what I
maybe
think?
there's more to it than that. Like there's
Mm-mm.
something
See,
unfinished or
that's the
something.
thing. That's the thing, is that a simple message can be blown out of proportion. You can put
Mm.
too much thought into it. You know what I mean?
Maybe I
You see
should
what I
just
mean?
go back for a trade or something. Like, I don't know. But like I've been talking to, like, because I work with a lot of younger people, right? And I'm always interested
Hmm.
in, oh, because they're like in school, and I'm like, what are you taking in school? Because there's a lot of students that I work with, right? And I always ask them, how's school going? What are you taking? This and that.
Hmm.
And I always tell them, I'm like, yeah, I'm totally not an academic. Like I hate school. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you did your research, okay, if you did your research on trades, I would get into the trades. I recommend that to anybody. I would get into the trades: electricians, concrete pourers, bricklayers, um, you know, architects, whatever the trades, whatever, iron workers, whatever, plumbers, uh, all that. I would get into those trades because those are going to be high in demand and they pay good.
Right, right.
And they pay good, and
And
you'll
it's
always be
basically
busy.
job security, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you'll always be busy. And well, they're constantly building, they're constantly creating. Look at, they're going to want to make these um, sanctuary cities. They're going to be building. They're going to be, eventually they want to tear down individual structures and make everybody live in those apartments. Have you seen those
Right.
videos of these people in China living in like 20 million people or
Oh
20,000
yeah.
people living in these? That's what they want to make it like, so they can have
Yeah,
more
they call
control over
them
people.
ghost cities.
Yeah, so they can have
Yeah.
more control over people and everything. So
I've talked
yeah, I
about
would.
that a long time ago on this show. Yeah, I guess it's something to think about, because
It doesn't hurt to kick. It doesn't hurt to kick it around and just see, because once you find something that really interests you, you're gonna know, and you will apply yourself.
yeah,
You just haven't found something that you're interested in right now.
right, right.
I mean,
Another thing,
you're just starting to make the changes that are going to change your world to take it down a different avenue. Do you
right,
understand what I'm
right.
saying? We talked
It's
about this
probably
on
what
the
my
phone.
conscience is telling me, or my guides are telling me that I
We
don't
talked. Remember,
realize. Yeah,
remember when
yeah,
I
yeah.
told you that there's things that you need to work on, and you'll
Yes,
that,
yes, yes. I remember you
yeah,
telling me that.
and you know what they are. And once you make your mind up to doing and changing, then that's going to change your world and open up a whole new perspective to you, a whole new change in your world.
Yeah,
But you know what they are, you know what you need to do. And I'm not going to give a reading on here because sometimes readings get deep, and that's none of anybody's business. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Because sometimes it's too personal and stuff. And I don't, I believe in, confidentiality big time.
For sure. For sure.
So, but I mean, we
Yeah.
kind of talked about a little bit of everything and stuff like that.
Yeah. I knew it was going to do,
pinpointed.
I knew that was going to happen that way, which is cool because those are my favorite kinds of discussions because it doesn't get stale. It goes all over the map.
Yeah, we always do. We always do. And I apologize if my energy just seems kind of mellow. I've just been kind of mellow lately. I'm kind of like, I don't know, the energy is weird. I've talked to a few other people. They've hit me up and they're like, Vicki, the energy is really weird. It's kind of like, you know, um, I'm kind of mellow, but it's like I'm expecting something to shift here to, like they're expecting something, there's something that's going to happen. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Whether it's collectively or it's in their own individual life. See, whether it's good or bad, it's just everybody's like just kind of like on a mellow, just taking it one day at a time. That's all. I
Sure.
just tell people, you want to know it, take it one day at a time. Just
That's
take it
what I
one
do.
day at a time. Don't pressure yourself into looking 25 billion years into the future or whatever. Take it one day at a time.
Yep. I agree.
If you have paranormal stuff happen or capture something, you can send it to me, talk to me about it, or ask me for guidance or whatever. I don't mind helping and stuff. But I do have to say my prices have gone up, and I'm not open. I'm open, but you have to schedule a special appointment with me because I've
Right.
got to work. We've got to work together on the time and stuff because of the family I have living with me and watching my grandbaby all the time, and then so.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
yeah.
All right.
So I'm glad I was on here and everything. I'm glad we got to talk. I miss seeing your face, Davy Wavy, and that beard.
I know, right? It's it's got a mind of its own now.
I think it's cool looking. I like it. I like the two gray racing stripes. I got a racing stripe on this
Yeah.
side and then this side over here. So
Pretty
yeah,
sweet.
I got some of that Nova hair dye, and that stuff really works. It's some good stuff. But then it's like, you know what? I don't want to cover up my gray. I don't care if I go gray. I go gray.
Sure. Yeah.
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 I'm 55 years old. I'm not going to be
Fuck it.
putting no stretchy leather pants on, and walking around looking like all whatever, No way. Those days are done past. So I don't know. But I appreciate you having me on your show and everything. I thoroughly
Oh,
enjoyed it.
I'm glad we finally did it. Yeah. We both got a little under the weather there for a bit, but we made it happen.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for coming. And it was a pleasure as always.
Thank you so much. We'll have to do it again sometime. Even if you
For
pick a
sure.
topic and we stick to it. So,
yeah, for sure. Or just shoot the shit like we did today.
yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you just got to shoot the shit and somebody will get a message in there somewhere or
Oh,
it'll
for
enlighten
sure.
them somewhere,
For sure.
And you
Yeah.
can't, that's another thing too. You can't force messages on people.
No.
It's got to just come at their time. You know what I mean?
That's it.
At their time.
That's
And
why
that's what a lot of people.
That's why I don't necessarily agree with street preachers.
I understand. I totally understand. So, but anyway, thank you so much.
Okay, hon. Thank you. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Have a good night.
Okay. You too.
Bye-bye. Bye.